Jai Shri Gurudev. Good morning, children. Hope you are all fine. Let us start the next session of the lesson. There's a girl by the tracks. So we have stopped until where Baleshwar met Roma on the tracks and he took her to the road where he didn't get any help from the motorist. Finally, a tempo truck driver, a middle aged person who spoke Gujarati, stopped out and he helped him to take Roma to Airoli. Airoli was a place where it was away from Mumbai, 10 kilometers away from Mumbai. So a policeman suggested to take to this place Airoli, but Baleshwar disagreed because it was very far away from the place. Let us see what happened next. Children, all of you take out your PDF format and keep a pen or pencil with you to note down the doubts when you get while I was explaining the lesson. There's a closer place I know of, said Baleshwar, but as the facility lacked personnel and equipment, on duty physician wasn't able to do more than give basic first aid. He advised that she will be moved to a nearby hospital. Baleshwar and the driver had no choice but to move her back into the truck. So when cop said to take her to Airoli, he said it was far away, but there was a closer place which he knows. That is, Baleshwar said, I know a closer by hospital, but as the facility lacked, means there is no staff properly in that, there is no proper equipment in that hospital. The on duty physicians will not be able to do the surgery there. They may do the first aid, only the basic first aid. So he advised that she'll be moved to a nearby hospital. Baleshwar and the driver had no other choice. They have to take her back into the truck. When the vehicle lurched forward, Roma stirred and her eyes fluttered open. What is your name? Asked Baleshwar. Roma, she managed to grind out. Whom can I call? He asked quickly, fearing that she would black out once again. My brother Dinesh, she said slowly, giving him Dinesh's cell phone number. Children, when she took back into the truck, Roma was little bit conscious. So when the vehicle lurched means moved unsteadily. The vehicle was not in a proper way. It was not moving in a proper way. The truck was moving in an unsteadily manner. Roma stirred and eyes fluttered. Fluttered means opened slightly. Very little she opened her eyes. What is your name? Baleshwar asked immediately. She said Roma. So she managed to say her name and she managed to grind out. Grind out means to say something with some effort, means slowly with lot of effort. She said her name. Whom can I call? He asked quickly because he was afraid that again Roma may go to unconscious level. So he asked, whom can I call? So fearing that she would again blackout means to become unconscious again. So she answered that my brother Dinesh. She said slowly, giving him Dinesh's cell phone number. Children, see, Roma gave her brother's Dinesh's cell phone number also. Baleshwar memorized it and watched as Roma's eyes soon lost focus and rolled back into the darkness. Chacha, can I borrow your mobile? Baleshwar asked the driver, passed him his phone. Dinesh Tareja was wrapping up his day at his marketing job at a retail outlet in Ulhasnagar when his phone rang. Children, as soon as she told the number of Dinesh, Baleshwar immediately memorized the number because he don't have anything to note down the number also, and watched that Roma's eyes soon lost focus. Means she again went to unconscious level and rolled back into the darkness. She slept. Okay, then Chacha, can I borrow your mobile? Chacha means uncle. So in Hindi, usually for uncle they will call Chacha. So Baleshwar asked the truck driver, he called him as Chacha and he wanted to borrow his mobile. And the driver passed him his phone. So he gave his phone. Dinesh Tareja was wrapping up his day at the marketing job at a retail outlet in Ulhasnagar when his phone rang. So who is Dinesh Tareja? He is the brother of Roma. He was wrapping up his day at his outlet, means closing the day's business. Wrapping means he was closing his shop, and he was working in an outlet, means a shop. Outlet is nothing but a retail shop. So in Ulhasnagar, and when his phone rang, Dinesh Bhai, a young voice asked, your sister Roma has fallen off a train and we are taking her to Divine Hospital in Ghansoli. I am on my way, said Dinesh, rushing towards his motorcycle. Roma arrived at Divine Multi Speciality Hospital and Research Center minutes later. So as soon as Baleshwar called him as Dinesh Bhai in the phone, so he spoke with a cute young voice and he said, informed Dinesh that your sister Roma has fallen off from the train and we are taking her to the Divine Hospital in Ghansoli. Ghansoli is a place, children. I am on my way, said Dinesh. So as soon as he heard that his sister Roma is in danger condition, he just moved towards his bike and he said that he is going to arrive to that place. So meanwhile, Roma arrived at Divine Multi Speciality Hospital and Research Center minutes later. So Baleshwar and the truck driver took Roma to that hospital. Dr. Anil Agarwal, the medical director there, seeing the extent of Roma's injuries, admitted her immediately to the ICU without any paperwork. When Baleshwar was hanging around in the hospital, he noticed that the truck driver had already left. Children, as soon as they reached Ghansoli, they entered into the hospital, and in that hospital, Dr. Anil Agarwal, he is the director of that hospital, saw this Roma's injuries and without any paperwork, means without any formalities, he asked her to admit to the ICU. And here, Baleshwar, he asked Baleshwar to hang around until Roma's family arrived. Means, so doctor said that he wanted to stay back Baleshwar until Roma's family arrived. He noticed that the truck driver had already left. Children, he was waiting, Baleshwar was waiting there for his Roma's family members. But here, meanwhile, the truck driver, the Gujarati truck driver, left without any information. Oh, he thought that I couldn't thank him, Baleshwar thought. So Baleshwar was disappointed here. Oh, I couldn't thank him, he already left. So this was the thing he had in his mind. Roma was still unconscious, but she was out of danger. She needed sutures. Dr. Agarwal believed she could have bled to death had nobody helped her. When she opened her eyes, she saw her brother and her fiancé were by her side. She could barely speak. She nodded and fell asleep again. Children, Roma was unconscious here, but her x rays showed that all the injuries looked severe, but all she needed was her deep wound sutures. Sutures means the stitches. It should be the wound where she got hurt, it should be stitched. So from there it started bleeding when she fell down from the train. So sutures were made, means stitches were put on that wounds. So there would be no lasting danger, means she was out of danger now. But Agarwal believes that she could bled to death if had nobody had helped her. He felt, Dr. Agarwal felt that if nobody helped her, she was used to die. She was used to death in that time. So she would have died when she fell down from the train. When she finally opened her eyes, that night, means she in the same day, that night when she opened her eyes, she saw her brother and fiancé Vijay who were standing beside her. She wanted to speak to them, but she could barely speak to them, and just she nodded her head and fell asleep again. When Baleshwar came to meet her the next morning, Roma was still partly sedated. Baleshwar had even revisited the spot where Roma had fallen, looking for her cell phone and handbag. A railway employee assured Baleshwar that some of Roma's belongings had been found. Children, the same night Baleshwar left the place after her family members arrived. Again, the next morning, he came to the hospital to see Roma, but she was still partly sedated, means half awake due to drugs. So they'll give the medicines. So because of that, she couldn't open her eyes fully, completely. She was still in a sleeping manner. Then Baleshwar had even revisited the spot, means where she fell down, that place he visited there looking for her belongings. Dinesh told that she had a cell phone and handbag were missing. Then, no far from the spot, a railway employee kept all those things with him, and he said some belongings had been found. So, how are you feeling? Baleshwar asked Roma. I'm okay, Roma whispered. In a few days, Roma made a full recovery. I can't imagine what would have happened if Baleshwar hadn't been there, she says, amazed to learn of the manner in which she had been rescued. Children, so Baleshwar took back all the things which were belonging to Roma. He handed over to Dinesh, and again he used to visit Roma often, and when he visited her he asked how she was feeling. She whispered, means she talked very slowly and said that she is all right. So until Roma made a full recovery, it took few days, and she said that if he would have not rescued her, she would have died. So this was the imagination what she had, and she remembered all the things where in what manner he rescued her. I think it's astonishing that a stranger would jump off a train and risk his life for me. I can never repay Baleshwar. I am new to Mumbai, but I have noticed that people here are afraid, says Baleshwar, who is still looking for a job. They fear getting trapped in the courts or with the police. So, children, he said that Baleshwar said that it's astonishing, means it's really surprising how a stranger will help without any knowledge of the friendliness with others. So he is not a friend of her, but still, as a stranger, he kept his life in risk and helped her. And even though he is new to Mumbai, he noticed that people are very selfish. They are not they are not ready to help others. But still, Baleshwar was looking for a job. He is jobless fellow, but still he find the fear of in the people where they are not ready to help anybody who met with an accident because they may have the fear of getting trapped in the courts or with the police. This was the thing he noticed in the people of Mumbai. So why he do it? She needed help, is it not? Roma needed help. Baleshwar puts it simply, that day it was Roma, tomorrow it could be you or me by the tracks, bleeding and alone. Children, because of the great humanity what Baleshwar had. Why did he do it? Because this day may be Roma, the next day may be you and me. Means you may be feel like helping others, or you may be in danger, or myself may be in danger. If I help today others, maybe some other day someone may help us. So this is the great kindness, humanity what Baleshwar had. Even though he is an unknown person, he helped Roma, because if the same condition happens to him also, some other person should come forward to help him. So this is the thing what he thought. So as an unknown person, he helped Roma. For this we have to salute them. So these are the things which took place in this lesson, children. So even we should learn to help anybody. I hope even you will help if you see anybody like this who met with an accident on the roadside. So don't afraid of being trapped in courts or police, because as I told you, we don't have any such rules now. We can help anybody freely if they are in danger. So hope even you will do it. So just cultivate the habit of helping others, cultivate the habit of giving a needy hand to the needy people. Children, hope you have understood. Go through the complete lesson, read the lesson twice, and make sure that you understood everything. If you get any doubts, please clear your doubts by calling me. Thank you, children. Thank you so much. Just be safe, stay home, don't come out of the house often, and take care of your health. Thank you. Jai Shri Guru.